This is how you make dinosaurs?
This is how you play God.
Deep within the Jurassic Park lore, there exists an island a part of the Five Deaths called Isla Sorna. This location was used as the factory floor for Jurassic Park, where several species of extinct dinosaur would be cloned and shipped off to various locations around the world. While only the exhibit on Isla Nublar was shown to be up and running by the time the 1993 movie took place, an abandoned theme park in San Diego was soon confirmed to exist in its sequel, and several other attractions were either in the process of being built or at the time undergoing development during the first movie's events. But when it comes to Site B and what exactly was built on that island, I wanted to dive into the more mysterious and darker secrets that InGen may have been hiding, because if there's any location that's gotten the fans' attention the most out of this brand, it has definitely got to be the untapped potential and lore of Site B.
I don't remember that on InGen's list.
What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now, for today's video, I wanted to talk about Sorna, but not only in a way of bringing up how underutilized it's been over the last 10 years, but more or less an overview on what we actually don't know about the second island. You see, believe it or not, most of what has been documented as canon for Site B is still relatively mysterious in nature, and while newer information, such as the illegally bred species from 1999, has been confirmed over the last few movies, there's an even bigger question that could allude to a secret that I don't see too many people talking about. And that's the fact that when it comes to something like InGen's list that we all heard about from Jurassic Park 3, or really any dinosaur field guide or experimentation cloning that's gone down on that island, we literally don't know the facts surrounding any of this information at all. What we do know to be company secrets happen to be the revival of a few select extinct species, like the Ceratosaurus, Spino, Corythosaurs, and Ankies from the third movie. But these were all animals that we barely got any information on even being cloned, and the only confirmation for their existence happened to be from eyewitness accounts of Alan Grant and the Kirbys after surviving Jurassic Park 3. In short, what I'm trying to say here is that there may be a lot of other undocumented animals that we know next to nothing about out there, and with the lack of proper intel on Site B's status over the last few years, who's to say what's been roaming around on that island? Take the Velociraptor territory around the worker village, for example. In the Lost World, we see massive-sized apatosaur bones leading up to the piping around the village, but this creature wasn't documented as having been cloned or taking up residence on the island at the time in which Lost World takes place, meaning they would have had to have been cloned and died out well before the events of that movie. And with information on several people showing up later and to actually clone new species, in fact, I think this is an island in Jurassic Park's deeper lore that is literally perfect and the fans want to see explored in the modern era. Over the course of the last 25 years, we've seen several dinosaur ideas and species come and go when it comes to what the filmmakers had in mind for Isla Sorna. Think of ideas that I've gone over before on this channel in the past. These last few years, I've talked about the unused mosasaur tank on the island. It's still being overseen by InGen scientists, no less, in its development. Or maybe the abandoned ideas for animals like the Supersaurus, or uncreated prototypes of creatures like the Excavaraptor or Malusaurus that wound up on Nublar. Being the factory floor, Site B is literally the most thematically and historically rich place for Jurassic Park content to thrive, and it's also the most mysterious and eerie location that has so far gone unused when it comes to the newer movies. We do know for a fact other people have been there, we can say that. We know they've done extensive research on population growth, reduction, and even mined animals from the island and put them all over the world, like Biosin Valley. When it comes to the secrets of InGen and what might still be out there, there's also the unexplained aviary from Jurassic Park 3, with a much more vicious pteranodon breed that was even supposed to have an alpha leader in early JP3 material. Keep in mind, this is different from the Lost World clones. Or look, there's even the newer forms of raptors that may even have been evolving back into their old selves. Why was there a human skull in the nests of the pterosaurs from Jurassic Park 3 if everyone had already evacuated the island before the hurricane? And what was going on with the lore for the Albertosaurs from Trespasser that never got properly adapted into the movies? They're called the lions of the Cretaceous era. You know, they're kind of like this bigger creature that stalks its prey on the island, let alone something like the poisonous troodons in the Deuterocanon. Just imagine what it would be like to set sail to Site B in the present day. You come across some notable creatures that have always been on the island immediately, like say the Compsognathus from the Lost World or JP3. But then you stumble upon something unexpected, like the tiny Moosaurs from Michael Crichton's novel. That sequel, in fact, even opening up the door to additional species we had never heard about in its own unique ways. What if you'd already set up base camp and have your anti-dinosaur protective gear in hand? The predator cages are installed, the tranquilizer and poison dart rounds are set, and you even have solar generators and satellite uplink to the internet so that you can't go dark for too long. Man, you could even have brought a few gas-powered vehicles just in case. You're well prepared for any situation to head your way, but imagine what it would be like to stumble across even one new species. You don't know what it is, but it moves quickly in the brush, attacking certain parts of the camp that are moving a certain kind of way, or painted a certain hue or color that brings out its aggressive animal nature. What kind of intel would you have to go off of if the species list was incomplete, which, in Jurassic Park, it always is? And what engine, Biosyn, or whoever else had cloned on that island was a mystery to this very day. What if Dr. Wu lied about how early his research on hybridizing animals had gone back? What if this was the location of a fully grown Ultimasaur, or even the stomping grounds of other abandoned Jurassic Park animals, like the Super Raptor from the Lost World I've done a video on? What if this wasn't even a place where people had stopped showing up and doing these kinds of covert operations with cloning in the island? The possibilities for the unanswered questions in Site B are literally endless, and you don't even have to answer them in the most blatant way possible. When I did that video on the gigantic T-Rex that was left on the island from Trespasser, the Red Rex that was around the Mayan Ruins, a lot of people talked about how cool it would be to see something like that in either a remake of the game or maybe a live-action movie. Now, keep in mind, guys, this isn't just game developers going off their rocker and having a wild idea. This stuff has its roots in the Michael Crichton book lore, and filmmakers like Spielberg and even the actors from the movies like Richard Attenborough himself were deep in this creation and explanation of extinction when it came to Site B. Don't get it twisted. Site B is endlessly limitless with its potential. There is all kinds of things you could do on that island. I even remember being a kid in the 2000s coming up with a script where we'd gotten all this information about human dinosaur hybrids, and Dr. Ellie Sattler accidentally stumbled upon one dead in a embryonics jar in the middle of the jungle, like what we see in Jurassic Park 3. The untapped potential of Sorna and the mysterious secrets and questions that are on that island are truly limitless. And I think that the reason it hasn't been brought back is very flimsy, to say the least. If someone wanted to take Isla Sorna and do a back-to-basics survival-style movie with people coming to the island with their Lindstrat air rifles, complete with the most poisonous toxins available to subdue the animals. Maybe they even kill a couple of raptors before they're overtaken by some new breed, or Tyrannosaur animals that have been vicious on the island for God knows how long. You could really, really go in a direction with Site B and a Jurassic Park story that is awesome, in my personal opinion. There's so many different species of dinosaurs, from Displetosaurus, Suchomimus, also Concavenator, Acrocanthosaurus, or something more aquatic like a Plesiosaur or Nothosaur. Literally, guys, Site B, there is no definitive N-Gens list. There is no definitive explanation as to what's on the island, and you don't even have to give the audience a clear answer for them to be satisfied with it. Dark mysteries are what made Jurassic Park 3, The Lost World, and all of the surrounding material so fun to go back and look at. And it's the kind of thing, that little Resident Evil tinge, that I think made the Indoraptor in Lockwood Manor so fun. If you want to get people talking about Jurassic Park again, you go back and explore this lore and do it fully, because there's a lot to have fun with. Anyways, guys, those are all just my own personal thoughts and opinions on some of the secrets and information that has never been properly explored with Site B. I'd love to hear what all of you think about what you'd like to see in a future Jurassic story that's stripped and back to basics, very survival, realistic oriented. Because, dude, I'm telling you, man, imagine a Dakota Raptor just showing up on someone out of nowhere, or a Dimetrodon, like, troop, or maybe even an Adaphrosaurus. There's so many different things you could do with Site B. As a Jurassic Park fan, it's untapped potential, and it's really fun to think about. But hey guys, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be on the subject matter, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all, Christ is King, see you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.